When they speed up, you chase. When you chase, you react. And the one who reacts loses. Tonight you learn trigger control, a quiet way to slow the moment, clear your head, and answer with steady power. You won't shout, you won't plead. You'll breathe, center, and speak in a tone that settles the room. Pressure will stop feeling like a wave that throws you. It will feel like a current you can steer. You will hear the bait, feel the spike, and still choose your next word. There is a kind of calm that doesn't come from hiding your feelings. It comes from holding them without being pushed by them. That calm is learnable. It starts now. As we move forward, notice how your mind already wants to slow. Notice how your shoulders want to soften. Notice the space that opens between the feeling and the choice. Keep that space. We're going to fill it with words that land. If this gives you even one breath of space when it matters, subscribe to Dark Mind 999. Each episode brings a clean tactic you can use today. No noise, just calm control that stays with you when the heat rises. Subscribe now so the next tool is waiting before the next test arrives. Chapter 1. Why triggers steal control? Pressure touches the body first, the words second. It tightens the jaw, pulls the shoulders up, speeds the eyes, and narrows attention until you grab the nearest answer just to make the heat stop. The trouble is not that you are weak. The trouble is that your nervous system is loyal to speed, not to wisdom. It tries to end the feeling quickly, even if the price is high later. Trigger control begins with simple honesty. The surge is not failure. It is a signal. When you treat it like a signal, you stop wrestling it. You let it pass without letting it steer. Imagine a bell that rings inside you. The old habit is to run toward the sound. The new habit is to nod at the bell and stay where you are. There is another reason triggers steal control. They aim at the parts of you that care the most: your competence, your belonging, your time. That is why the push feels personal. It is aimed at what you protect. Tonight, we separate care from chase. You can care deeply and still refuse to be rushed. You can keep your heart open and still keep your pace. That balance is where your power lives. Chapter 2. Name the triggers. Every person has a small set of buttons that light the whole system. One tone that makes you prove yourself. One sentence that makes you fear being left behind. One demand that says now, as if later is a moral failure. They have many costumes, but they are the same few actors. Give them names so they cannot hide. Image, exclusion, urgency. When a sharp voice appears, you test it against your 3 names. Which one is this? The moment a word lands on the feeling, the fog thins. The feeling becomes a pattern, and patterns are easier than people. Keep listening. You will hear the same bait come around again, different day, same hook. When it does, you won't be surprised. You'll feel the tug and think, I know you. A name trigger is a smaller trigger. A name trigger is a guest, not an intruder. And a guest sits where you ask it to sit. Chapter 3. Find your calm first. Before language, you have breath, eyes, and posture. Let the shoulders drop as if a heavy coat slides from them. Let the eyes settle on one unmoving point. Unclench the jaw by resting the tongue softly. Exhale like dust off glass. Calm is not a mood you hope for. Calm is a position you take. When your body takes that position, your words gather weight. People feel it without being told. They stop pushing because there's nothing loose to grip. Your stillness is not absence. Your stillness is authority. In this calm, your inner noise keeps moving, but now it moves behind a door. You hear it, you don't serve it. Your voice drops one step, your sentences shorten, your pace evens out. And somewhere in that quiet, a sentence forms that you actually believe. Those are the sentences that change rooms. Chapter 4. Mirror. When pressure speaks, echo a small piece back. A few words, lightly, with a soft question mark. You aren't mocking. You're putting their words on a small table so both of you can look at them. This simple mirror does 2 things at once. It tells them, you were heard, which cools the urge to push. And it tells your own system, we have time, which keeps your hands on the wheel. The mirror is not a trick. It is a door. Behind it is a cleaner moment than the one you were given. Notice what happens after you mirror. Faces soften, shoulders drop. People add detail they forgot to tell you. The conversation that wanted to sprint begins to walk. And when a conversation walks, choices can be seen. Chapter 5. Hold the space. Silence is not empty. Silence is structure. A brief pause after the mirror is the frame that holds your next sentence. It is tempting to fill the air just to stop the feeling. Don't. Let the air carry some of the weight for you. A still body, in a short silence, tells the room, I am not being dragged. The pause is not punishment. It is preparation. In that tiny quiet, your breath completes its cycle, your sight stays steady, and your words line up in order of truth. Most people fear silence because they think quiet makes them look unsure. The opposite is true. Quiet makes you look like someone who chooses to think before choosing to speak. That image alone lowers the tension of the moment. It says, without words, this will be answered well. Chapter 6. Reframe to terms. After the heat drops, guide the talk from stories to terms, simple pieces that sit on a table. What, when, and how. Stories argue about feelings and motives. Terms lead toward decisions. Speak simply. Offer a path that can be walked today and a path that needs more time, and the honest trade-off between them. You do not explain your worth. You demonstrate clarity. You do not make promises to be liked. You make offers that can be kept. There is a relief that arrives when terms appear. Even people who disagreed a moment ago feel their bodies settle. A person can reject an opinion. It is harder to reject a clean map. And when a map is on the table, the talk stops circling and begins moving. Chapter 7. Work pressure. The push comes. Voices tight, deadlines waved in the air, the hint that everyone else already agreed. You feel the old surge, heat in the cheeks, a rise in the chest. This time the surge is your bell. You let the shoulders lower, the eyes settle, the breath finish. You reflect a few words, lightly. The room exhales a fraction. In the small quiet that follows, you move to terms. You place 2 or 3 options, one stable and fast, one polished and slower, perhaps one hybrid in between. You keep the sentences short and the tone even. Watch what changes. The moment is no longer about your worth, it's about choosing a path. People who are pushing now have something to pick. The energy turns from heat to clarity. Even if the choice isn't easy, it becomes simple. And simple is what pressure was trying to hide. Chapter 8. Guilt and bait. Some pressure arrives, dressed as care. The message is soft, but sharp. If you loved me, you would decide now. If you were loyal, you would bend. The first reflex is to prove the heart, to rush toward reassurance. But reassurance given under force curdles later. You keep your center. You reflect a sliver in a calm voice. You allow a short pause. Then you return to terms. What you can do now, what needs more time, what would make the decision honest for both. If another hook arrives, you do not harden. You return to the map again. Each return tells the other person, this game does not work here. The pace starts to match your breath. The talk moves from pressure to truth. The bond becomes cleaner for it. You protected the connection by protecting the tempo. Chapter 9. Public heat. A stranger snaps. A line grows restless. A voice from the side cuts through the moment. The old choices are to flare or to fold. Trigger control gives you a third path. You echo a calm fragment, then offer a short answer that sets a clear endpoint. You do not empty your story to justify your presence. You do not spit sparks to prove your strength. You stay steady, say little, and bring the moment to a close. Most fires need air. You give them none. The heat searches for fuel and finds silence. It lowers. It ends. What remains is not victory over someone else. What remains is victory over the part of you that used to rush. That win is the one that lasts. Chapter 10. Evidence and boundaries. Truth arrives best when it walks in order. First, the facts that both can see. Then, the options that truly exist. Then the question that invites a choice. You keep your voice one step lower than your feeling, and your sentences one step shorter than your impulse. Boundaries are not walls. They are lines on the field, so the game can be fair. A boundary sounds like, that doesn't work, this does. Or, if this is added, that will move. Or, within this window, yes, beyond it, no. You don't need volume to make these lines real. You need repetition. Calm repetition is iron. People often test boundaries once to see if the line is true. If you repeat it gently and consistently, the test stops. The line becomes part of the ground everyone stands on. Chapter 11. How you sound. Calm has a sound. It is a pace, a weight, a finish. You slow just enough to show that thinking is happening. You end sentences down, not up. Your words are clean. Time, scope, trade-off. First step, next step. You remove filler that leaks strength. You stop apologizing for existing in the moment. You do not decorate the truth. You deliver it. You are polite without bending, clear without cutting. Your tone carries the message that you are not fighting the person. You are anchoring the moment. That tone is hard to resist. It invites adults to show up as adults. It tells the nervous system on both sides, we can do this well. Chapter 12. Daily practice. Strong calm is built in small moments, long before it is needed in large ones. In a casual chat, someone speaks over you. You feel a spark. This time, you soften your breath and echo a light fragment. In a simple planning talk, you feel the urge to promise everything. This time, you place two clean options and let the other choose. These simple repetitions shape a habit. The habit shapes your presence. When a heavy moment arrives, your body does not have to remember what to do. It already knows. Your breath is slower. Your eyes are steady. Your voice lands on the first try. Calm stops being an act you perform and becomes a place you live. Chapter 13. Keep it clean. Power without kindness is fear in disguise. Trigger control is not a toy to make others squirm. It is not silent treatment wearing a nice suit. Its purpose is to protect clarity, guard dignity on both sides, and move moments toward honest choices. Sometimes the right move is to drop the structure and care first. When someone is in pain, when danger is near, when the goal is not a decision, but safety. True control includes the decision not to use it. That restraint is the mark that your calm is trustworthy. Chapter 14. Short lines that always help. Certain lines open tight doors. Let's slow down for a second. I hear you. Here's what makes sense. This works, that doesn't. I can do this today, that needs more time. If this is added, that will move. Which matters more? These are small keys. Use them and watch how muscles and faces relax. Watch how the voice across from you drops half a note. When a key fits, the lock stops squeaking. Chapter 15. The core you keep. Come back to the heart of it. You feel the surge and you do not panic. You name the trigger and it loses its mask. You let your breath finish. You reflect a little. You set terms that can be walked. People who once pushed begin to speak differently around you. Not because you frightened them, because you steadied them. You become the person whose presence lowers noise. You become the one who does not get dragged. And slowly, almost without noticing, you realize the room trusts your pace more than its own. That is the gift of trigger control. Not domination, not icy distance, but a reliable calm that makes good choices possible. Again and again. Call to action. Subscribe in next episode. If this gave you even one steady breath when you needed it, you just took your power back. Subscribe to Dark Mind 999 for more calm tactics that hold under pressure. Next episode, turn anxiety into a weapon. We'll give your nerves a job so they help you, not hurt you. I'll see you there.